What does it mean when entrepreneurs or successful people say all the time, you'll hear them say, well, it all starts with the mindset, or you got to get your mind right. Tony Robbins talks about how success in business is 80% mindset, 20% mechanics. So what does mindset actually mean? What comes to mind when you think about the word mindset? Well, first off, it's two words. So let's split it up into two words because that's what it is. So what is mind? What comes to mind when you think of the mind? Because I think a lot of people think that's your brain, right? That's the part of you that actually directs your actions and your behaviors and what you think. But that's not what the mind is. The mind is the non-physical part of you that thinks, imagines, decides, remembers, and interprets reality. It's not your brain, it's the function that your brain performs. So when we look at the mind of this word, mindset, we're thinking, what are the actions that your brain is actually performing that are the mind? It is things like thoughts, belief, perception, your focus, your imagination, your memory, which includes stories, the narrative that we're running all the time, and it also includes the meaning that we give to those stories that we're constantly running all the time. And then you have your identity, which is who you believe you are. So that is what the mind is. Now let's look at the word set. Set is, what it means is to place, fix, or establish something in a specific position. So think about that. Think about when I hear the word set, the first thing that comes to mind is like set the table. So what does that mean, set the table? It means to place things on the table in a specific position. And so when we put this word together, mindset, it really means to place our thoughts, beliefs, perception, identity, our memory, or the stories that we tell, our narrative, right? Our narrative. It means to place these things. So hopefully that makes more sense to you. When somebody says that you got to get your mindset right, well, chances are that your mind is set. And when I talk about the word set, it implies that it's intentional. So if you set a table, you're doing that with intention. You're putting things in specific places in a specific order. The problem is the mindset that we currently have, if we're not becoming successful or seeing results from all our action and effort and the behaviors, then chances are our mindset is set in the wrong position. This is why a lot of times people will talk about a thermostat setting, right? And they talk about if you want to change the temperature in a room, let's say it's 72 degrees and I want to change it to 76 degrees, then I would walk over to the thermostat and I would manually change that temperature. So there's a manual process. Like I actually have to be intentional with changing it, with setting it, to set the thermostat where I actually want it, so that the thermostat can go to work and turn on the equipment that's going to raise the temperature in the room or lower the temperature in the room. So when it comes to mindset, we already have a mindset. The problem is that you didn't probably manually go in and change the mindset. You didn't set it. You didn't set your mind to what you actually want. And so it operates by default. It's automatically operating by all the things that we've taken in through our lives. All the thoughts and the beliefs and the perceptions and the identity and the memory and the narrative that we've created that's been placed there, typically not by us, but things that we've experienced. People that we've surrounded ourselves with, or the people that we grew up with, like our parents. They had beliefs and thoughts and intentions, and they implied those on us. The TV, the media, things that we've watched, movies that we watch, plant beliefs and thoughts and perceptions and identity and narratives in our minds. So if we want to change, if we don't have the right mindset for success, so if we're not seeing success or experiencing success, then the mindset that we need, or the set point that we need to put our mind in, has to be done deliberately, intentionally. So I love Myron Golden's. Let me show you this real quick. So to put this into perspective, or to show you in a way that makes it really easy to understand, if this is your mind, you've got two parts of the mind. You've got the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind, you want to think of it as the manual mind. I look at it like, spelled that wrong. The manual mind. This is how Myron Golden explains it, which makes sense. So I thought I would use that here because it just makes sense to explain where I'm going with this. How are we more intentional with setting our mindset for success? So the conscious mind is your manual mind. That's like if I think I want to turn the light on in this room, well, then I think about it, and then if I decide that that's what I want to do, then I'll start taking steps towards turning the lights onto the room. I'm using my manual mind to do that. I have a thought, maybe I need more light in here, and then that thought turns into a decision, and then I make the decision. I tell my body to walk myself over to the light switch and turn it on. That's your manual mind. It's done manually. The subconscious mind is your automatic mind. This is what does this. The automatic mind, we are operating probably 80% of the time. The stuff that we do from day to day, we just do it on autopilot. It's a collection of habits. It's a collection of processes. And we just automatically do these things every single day. And in order to stop being on autopilot and maybe escape the matrix and start to make decisions that we actually want, instead of just allowing the subconscious mind to control every action and thought that we have throughout the day, we got to take control. And in order to take control, and like I said before, this subconscious mind has been programmed already. It's already been set. But if you're not getting results and seeing success and completing your projects and continuously moving towards progress in your life, and that's what you want, if that's what you want, and you're not getting that, that's because your subconscious mind has already been set. And it might be working against you. So you tell yourself, I want this, I want that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But if you're not actually doing it, that's probably because you have a whole bunch of programs running in the background that say things like, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're too old, you're too young, you don't have enough experience. Like, it's going to tell you all kinds of things. And these are just things that we've picked up, like I said, that were placed there, that were set there, that we didn't ask for. So how do we eliminate this? How do we override these automatic programs that are constantly running, that are directing our actions and behavior each day? Well, we do it using the manual mind. We manually begin to install new programs into the subconscious mind. And the way we do that is through repetition. Because whether you know it or not, you've had all kinds of things that have beliefs and thoughts and perceptions and stuff that you've constantly been processing in your mind that become reality for you. In order to break that reality and to break those programs from continuously running, we've got to manually override those. And that's going to take repetition, because it took repetition to have these installed in the first place. So if we're going to override these other programs so that we actually, when we say we're going to do something, we do it. And instead of just being busy all day at work all the time and never feeling like we're progressing and getting somewhere, we can actually stop that madness and make sure that we work on the needle moving things in our business that actually do create progress and success. Then we've got to reprogram the subconscious mind. So one of the ways to do that, which I'm just going to cover here, there are a few different ways. One of the ways to do that, one of the easiest ways, is affirmations. Affirmations begin with the words, I am. I am is one of the most powerful statements you could ever make to yourself, whether you're talking in your own, like you're talking to yourself internally, or you say it out loud. I am powerful. I am full of energy. I am successful. I am happy, healthy, and wealthy. I'm a genius and I apply my wisdom. I am so happy and grateful now that an abundance of money comes to me through multiple sources on a continuous basis. Every day in every way, I'm getting stronger and stronger, right? These are all affirmations. These are just something that I'm going to repeat to myself over and over and over again so that I feed my subconscious mind. And as I continue to feed my subconscious mind, think of it like every time I say it, if this container was my subconscious mind, every time I say something, it's like I'm filling this bucket up. And I need to continue to put stuff in there, positive stuff, things that I control, things that I can set, right? You're developing a mindset through this process. And it's manual. You have to manually do it. And your natural inclination is not to continue to do it because you're on autopilot so much of the time throughout so much of your day that you might have to set yourself reminders in your phone through an alarm. You might have to put little reminders around your computer or in your vehicle. Put little sticky notes that says repeat your affirmations or write your affirmations on there so that they're constantly in front of you, so that you constantly are bombarding your brain, your subconscious mind, the mind, not the brain, but the mind, full of things that you actually want. This is how you walk up to the thermostat, the thermostat of your mind, and turn up your income. Turn up your health so you can be healthier. Turn up your happiness. Turn up your business growth. You manually program it through repetition using affirmations. After you do this over and over and over again, those will, now you all of a sudden, it changes your thoughts. So when your mindset has changed, you'll begin overriding some of the recurring thoughts that you have all the time that aren't actually moving you forward and getting you what you want. Now all of a sudden, you have different thoughts, new thoughts that are positive because you placed them there. You set them there. And all of a sudden, it's going to feel like within a matter of months, you have a completely different mindset. It does take time because you have to repeat it constantly. You're talking about old programs that have been there for so many years that they're just not going to go away overnight. You can't just sit around all day repeating affirmations and expect change. Everything that you are currently experiencing in your life, right now, you've either promoted, created, or allowed it to happen. And because you've done that for so long, when you begin new habits of reprogramming your mind for success and actually getting the right mindset because you're intentionally setting it to the right position, there's going to be possibly several months ahead of you where you're still getting the same results. But there will be a time, a turning point, where it flips and all of a sudden you're thinking differently, and when you think differently, you'll take different actions. All of a sudden, you're willing to participate in gaining success, where before you just weren't. Because if the story, the narrative that kept repeating in your mind is that you're not good enough, or you just don't have enough confidence, then that is what has been projecting through you, is that belief. So as soon as I say, like, I don't have enough confidence, well, is that going to make me want to jump on video? Is that going to make me want to ask for a sale from somebody? Is that going to make me want to have a difficult conversation with an employee or with your spouse so that things can actually start to change? The answer is no. It disempowers you. It immediately says, okay, well, why even try? And so you don't try. That's why when you change your mindset by using affirmations and continuously filling up your subconscious mind with these affirmations, you also will filter what comes into your stuff, what comes into your awareness. So this means social media. You have to be careful. You got to protect what you're watching, what you're spending time watching. You don't need the news. Just shut the news off. Stop watching the news. I haven't watched the news in 20 some years because it's not necessary. There's nothing that the news can tell me that's going to improve my life or make my life less happy or there's just nothing there because I'm watching the inputs. So, and negative news sales. So that's pretty much all they're selling is negative stuff. There's scarcity, fear, worry, doubt. That sells. So you have to be aware of that. Know that they're trying to scare you. They're trying to keep you in a fear state. So in order to watch those inputs that come into your mind, that's going to help you on this journey of actually being intentional, turning your mindset to what you actually do want in life instead of so much of what you don't want. So I hope this helped you. I hope this broke it down into a way that makes a lot of sense to you. I've got some free resources in the description below. Be sure to grab those, and I will see you on the next video. Remember, guys, this is your moment. Take this information, change the setting on your mind, change your mindset, and I guarantee you will get different results. I'll see you in the next one. This is your moment. Boom.